this hip-hop battle is unlike any I've ever seen. Singer Akon says he's considering challenging Kanye West for the seat in the Oval Office. Yeezy recently announced a public or a possible run for president in 2024, and Akon says he welcomes the competition. Here's what he had to say in a recent interview.
He's the most amazing marketer in the world.
Yeah.
He understands his audience, but he's definitely not crazy. He knows what he's doing. My thing is, if he does run, it's great for the culture. Now, whether or not you think he's fit is another thing. That's why you got me as another choice.
So Akon and Kanye have mentioned plans to run for president in the past. So what do you think Akon's qualifications might be?
He's above 35 and he's an American citizen, so he's legally qualified to be a candidate for president.
But he has had some legal issues.
Yeah, so those are the bare minimum qualifications. Now the question is, why are we talking about entertainers being president? We got somebody in the White House right now who is an entertainer and a real estate person. I'm in the government space, and I've watched the presidency since I've been interested in politics. And the reality is, you can't just want to be president on a whim. The reality is, you got to understand how government works and what is your mission. Are you running for president to change systems, or are you running to be an entertainer in chief? And we have enough of that right now. We don't need any more entertainers in chief. We need someone who understands the plight of those who have been left behind for generations. And while I respect Akon's work in Africa in terms of helping to build infrastructure across the continent,
You question his motives.
yeah, I do. Why does he want to be president beyond getting his name out there? I really don't know.
I will push back on that in regards to Akon, because, it further in that clip that you showed, it talks about, how he literally is advising over 30 government bodies. I mean, he's a very intentional Wakanda coin kind of guy, and I think that it's easy to kind of like siphon off with the entertainer. I don't believe in the broad sweep, because you can be a multifaceted. I mean, look, Stacey Abrams wrote romantic novels. Could she not be governor? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that we have to. You can't box people in, and that's the problem. That's why people win. You can't box somebody in. He has more of a cachet than that, and that actually adds it to him, because now he has money to fund himself in a different way. Now, so I actually, the only thing I would take issue with what the hell Akon said is that he said Kanye wasn't crazy. And I'm like, well, now you're not qualified to say that. Like, now you're not qualified to say that. Like, you could say, meet me in the election, but, you're not qualified to go on where this man's mental state is at. But you can, but I agree with him on those points. I mean,
But he said he's an alternative.
Yeah, I think it's an alternative. I think there are alternatives. I think in this free market, fair election, then it is fair game, because we're not picking point at Howard Schultz in the same way. We're not picking apart, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor, and by crash and burn that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that we should be more nuanced in our understanding and not be so quick to discredit other black folks who have proved to work very well into global politics. And I would love to see more of Akon's policy points.
Can I follow up on that? So, the question is, what does it mean to be the president, right? The president is the chief policymaker. And while I respect Akon's work in African infrastructure, if I'm talking about national security and a potential terror attack or a great recession, where's the experience to know how to respond to those things? That is my question.
Don't you know? Have you never been in the trap rap? You need to spend some more time in the entertainment space, bro. Let me tell you, you gotta dibble out the government sometimes, because I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Have you when you are a top performer and you're in a logistical scenario in this way, your safety, your security, your terror, all of these things, and you in Africa? Oh my God, what does it take to move an Akon cartel between Nigeria? Seriously, between Nigeria and Accra for a meeting?
Yeah.
Come on, brother. This man is superior. I think we should really think about it before we unpack it. Let's see what the policy points. We don't know. He's smart enough to maybe he can hire you to do it. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think we need to expand our. If anything, this American moment has taught us to expand our bandwidth for who is electable.
Right. And he's a very skilled businessman. And we've had businessmen in office.
Just saying.
Previously and right now.
Like right now?
Exactly.
How is that working out? So I think we may have different candidates in 2020.
Well, I think that I'm not. So you saying Akon and Donald Trump are the same profile? I don't.
They're both businessmen.
They're both businessmen, but different perspectives. The one businessman is working interglobally in Africa, and one is making side bets with the Ukraine. So I mean, I don't know.
Allegedly.
and building hotels in Sweden and parts of the world. So, there's some overlap.
Double back, get the bag.
Well, a presidential debate between Akon and Kanye would certainly be entertaining. But I'm having a hard time at this point taking either of them seriously.